UFC Vegas 110 is facing renewed scrutiny after allegations surfaced regarding the main card fight between Isaac Dulgarian and Yadier del Valle. MMA journalist Harry Mack claims the FBI flagged the bout due to unusual betting patterns, yet the fight proceeded. Mack also alleges that over 100 other UFC fights, including 2 more from UFC Vegas 110, were flagged, and that matches refereed by Jason Herzog may be under federal audit. While these claims haven't been independently verified, sportsbooks like Caesars, William Hill, and DraftKings issued refunds following unusual betting activity. Harry Mack tweeted, "Very important tidbit here. The FBI notified the UFC of the abnormal action and line movement and gave them hours to pull the fight. They chose to continue and from my perspective are now complicit in fixing a fight." He later tweeted, "Update. Federal regulators have flagged over 100 UFC fights this year for abnormal betting patterns, including 2 additional fighters on last night's card. Shit is about to get very ugly. Still working to confirm, but it sounds like the feds are moving to audit Herzog's fights." The situation echoes past controversies, including the Derek Minner vs. Shailen Yurdenbike fight 3 years ago, which led to James Krause being blackballed. Could this mark the start of a major federal crackdown on suspicious UFC fights?
Before we get to the next news, if you love staying on top of MMA updates, hit that subscribe button. We're fans just like you, and we'll make sure you catch all the biggest stories first.
The UFC has released featherweight prospect Isaac Dulgarian after his controversial first-round loss to Yadier del Valle at UFC Vegas 110. Ariel Helwani tweeted, "Isaac Dulgarian, who was submitted last night by Yadier del Valle, has been released by the UFC, sources say. He was released today." The official reason was attributed to last night's loss. However, the bout has been the center of controversy after a ton of money started to come in on Dulgarian, a sizable favorite, to lose in the first, which is what happened. Fans grew suspicious when betting lines suddenly shifted hours before the fight, heavily favoring del Valle to win him by first-round finish, which he did via quick submission. Some sportsbooks even refunded losing bets, fueling more speculation. Dulgarian, once seen as a top prospect, now exits the UFC with a 2-2 record. The UFC has officially broken silence on the UFC Vegas 110 betting controversy. Official statement from the UFC was shared by Aaron Bronsteter on X. Like many professional sports organizations, UFC works with an independent betting integrity service to monitor wagering at our events. Our betting integrity partner, IC360, monitors wagering on every UFC event and is conducting a thorough review of the facts surrounding the Dulgarian vs. del Valle bout on Saturday, November 1. We take these allegations very seriously, and along with the health and safety of our fighters, nothing is more important than the integrity of our sport. This comes after Dulgarian was quietly released from the roster amid growing speculation and online outrage. Do you think this was just a coincidence, or are fans right to be suspicious?
Now, Ariel Helwani has also claimed multiple UFC fighters have been offered money to throw fights, raising major concerns amid recent betting controversies.
This is not an isolated incident. And what I mean by that is, I have talked to multiple people who have either experienced or know of others who experience situations where they have been approached about their willingness to do something like this. So I have been told by multiple people that they have been approached, they have been talked to and said, "Are you interested in this? Are you interested in throwing a fight for X amount of dollars?" Believe that's what happened with Derek Minner, and all signs right now are pointing to something of that sort happening here. This is a massive issue for the UFC. And when you consider, now I haven't been told this part that I'm about to say, but when you consider the questionable refereeing as of late, you can't help, I said this last week, you can't help but let your mind go there as well, because there's no other possible explanation for some of the wacky stuff that we have seen as of late. And it's very easy to do. It's extremely easy to do. We've seen it. We've now seen it in broad daylight multiple times.
Could the UFC be facing its biggest integrity crisis yet?
Former UFC champion Ronda Rousey is facing backlash after criticizing commentator Joe Rogan, calling him a fan with an audience, not a true fight expert. In response, current flyweight champ Valentina Shevchenko publicly defended Rogan on X, labeling him a huge expert of martial arts, a noble man, hunter, sportsman, and a good example for youth. Fans piled in with reactions, many siding with Shevchenko and mocking Rousey's remarks. Well, that's because you haven't lost your mind and are a far better person than Ronda could ever be. The difference is you're a real champion. Champions know how to process their losses and get better. Ronda never figured that out and made excuse after excuse after the Holly loss. This is a product of that mentality. Once people figured Ronda out, she perpetually got her ass kicked and retired. She takes every opportunity she gets to stir the pot and wonders why she isn't revered. I was a huge fan at her height and respect everything she did for the sport, not just women's, but some self-awareness would go a long way sometimes.
UFC heavyweight Ante Delija has spoken out following his chaotic loss to Waldo Cortes-Acosta, a fight many fans believe he was robbed of. Delija appeared to score a TKO win after battering Cortes with strikes, but moments later, Cortes claimed an eye poke. After a video review and a long break, the fight was bizarrely restarted and Cortes went on to knock out Delija seconds later. Furious, Delija took to Instagram calling the decision irregular and accusing officials of breaking the rules by using replay after the stoppage. He wrote, "I'm not sure if I hit him in the eye, I think it's near the eye, and of course I want a video where you can see that stab. The referee did not show timeout but stopped the fight and therefore declared me the winner. That decision cannot be changed later. The opponent sat and relaxed while watching the footage. Replay used after the interruption, which rules do not allow. After all, the fight continued irregularly." He then later followed up by writing, "I ask for nothing more, just honesty. I don't run from defeat. I respect every opponent and every outcome, but not when rules are broken and I'm robbed. Not in this way. The sport hasn't seen this yet." The controversy comes just a week after Tom Aspinall, Valle's teammate, was criticized for not continuing after being poked in both eyes by Cyril Gane at UFC 321. Ironically, Cortes fought through his own eye poke to deliver a comeback knockout and called out Aspinall in his post-fight interview. Commentators Michael Bisping and Daniel Cormier were stunned after the controversial UFC Vegas 110 eye poke decision against Ante Delija that ultimately led to his KO loss. Here's how they reacted.
I've never seen anything like this in all of the time that I've been involved with mixed martial arts. I have never in my life seen anything like it.
It was definitely a first. It's not. There's going to be a lot of people talking about Tom after this.
I don't think it can be directly.
No, it can't.
Related.
It can't. No, it cannot. It's just like. It's just fate almost, like, because people are going to talk shit, right? Ante Delija is a training partner of Tom Aspinall.
Yep.
Tom didn't continue. He said apparently he still can't see. So
he still can't see.
You can't talk shit. You can't. But Waldo did carry on.
And he knocked him out right away.
And then he knocked him out cold.
Fans and analysts alike are questioning how the sequence could be allowed under UFC rules. What do you think of the decision? Paddy Pimblett has doubled down on his feud with Ilia Topuria, insisting he'd beat him anywhere it goes and promises to smash his head in. The Liverpoolian contender, one of the UFC's most polarizing figures, told James Sweetenham he's ready to upend Topuria's rise.
To absolutely smash his face in for him. I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest. People have put him on a pedestal now. They think he's this big, amazing thing when I'll bring him crashing back down to earth in a big way.
Would you take Pimblett's odds or back Topuria to stay unbeaten? Charles Oliveira confronted Max Holloway after the BMF champ questioned Oliveira's injury stoppage from their 2015 fight, calling him a quitter. Speaking to media, Dobronk said, "He's actually a guy I respect a lot. Based on my last fight with him, everyone knows I had an injury. He says I didn't, but I did have an injury. It would certainly be a good reunion. Max wants to fight as soon as possible, right? Let's see. Let's talk to the UFC and understand what is best for both of us."
Manager Ali Abdelaziz claims Magomed Ankalaev couldn't train properly ahead of the Alex Pereira rematch, revealing he went 40 days without sparring due to a rib injury.
You know, Ankalaev did not train for almost 40 days for this fight. He come from Dagestan, was a messed up ribs, and he sparred 3 times. Every time we have to stop the sparring, UFC know about it. He was getting injection, he was getting cortisone, he was getting stem cell. The only thing he did for 40 days, run, jump rope, and hit mitts, and do conditioning. He barely did any sparring. He did 0 wrestling, 0 grappling. And, you know, I hope the UFC will appreciate what he done for them to keep the main event going on. And I think he's 1 fight away, honestly, from a title. You know, he's 1-on-1 with Alex. Alex, did what he has to do. He won. And now Ankalaev needs to go out there and remind people why he was the best guy in the world. And I still believe Ankalaev is the best guy in the division. And I think Carlos Albert should be next.
Despite the setback, Abdelaziz believes Ankalaev is 1 fight away from a title shot. Do you think Ankalaev deserves another title shot so soon?
John Jones shared some fight night wisdom the old school way during UF Global, starting the night with a spoonful of honey before stepping into the cage. When someone mentioned that Khabib's late father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, used the same ritual, John just tapped his head in acknowledgement. Great minds think alike.
Tell him that I do this before every fight. He just says that Khabib's dad did the same.
Yeah.
Smart.
We need to go.
Come on, guys. Come on, let's go.
That wraps up the biggest stories in the world of MMA. Which one caught your attention the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to catch the latest news, hit that subscribe button and join the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.